So we will pick up with trying to import this spreadsheet again, Excel spreadsheet, where we left off. So we want to go up here, we close the billing table so we have no tables open, you see that. We want to go to the import and link group and choose Excel because we're going to import that. Notice this is under the external data tab here. And we want to append a copy of the records, add them to the 4 records already entered into the billing table, so that when we append, it starts at record 5 and adds on from there. We have to locate that spreadsheet. So I'm going to look at file name up here. See, it says specify the source of the definition of objects. The source that we want to pull from is the Excel spreadsheet. So we go over here to our browse button, and you have to know where you have your data file stored that I supplied to you. I have mine on my drive C. It may not be on your drive C. You have to know where you downloaded those to when you got them from our Moodle site. Mine is in a course technology folder inside of a CTI 110 folder, which is inside, and then inside of a fall 2014, and then inside of an access folder, an access 1 folder, and data file folder. So I have mine buried deep. Access 1, and this is the tutorial, what's inside the chapter. So I'm going to open that up, and there's my invoices spreadsheet that it tells me we're going to use. So I'm going to click on that once, or I could double click it. If I click on it once, then I go down here and say open. So you'll see that long path to where that is. It's going to be appended to the billing table, and I'm going to say OK. And here are all the records that we're talking about appending or adding to the end of that table in our billing table. Okay, so we have this. It says Microsoft Access can use your column headings as field names for your table. Does the first row specified contain column headings? Here are the column headings. It would be very important that these match what's in your database table. And so here, by default, that is selected. And you'll see that it's dimmed out, so there's not anything we can do to it. I can click on it and nothing happens. So we're going to accept that as the default because we do have this first row, which is our column headings. So that's true. I'll say next. Import to table. We're going to import it to the billing table, so we want to make sure it says billing right here. Okay. And then there's a checkbox that says I would like a wizard to analyze my table after importing the data. Okay. Well, I'm going to skip that at this time, so I'm not going to worry about it, and I'm going to say finish. And it says finished importing the spreadsheet to the billing table. Do you want to save these import steps? This will allow you to quickly repeat the operation without using the wizard. Now, if I thought I was going to be doing this again in the future, I would probably click the checkbox to save the import steps, but I'm not going to right now. So I'm going to do close, and now I'm going to open up my billing table. And look at there. I should have 204 records. That's my total records right there. Done beautifully, so that's just great. Okay. So now suppose we want to create a table by importing an existing table structure. Remember, the table structure is where you define the fields, what size the fields are, what data type they are, which key is the primary key, and so on. So in order to do that, then there's some things we have to take into consideration. If another Access database contains a table or even just the design, which is called the structure of a table, that you want to include in your database, you can import the table and any records it contains or import only the structure without the records into your database. In this example, with this Chatham clinic that we're working with, Cindy, who works with the clinic, has documented the design for the new patient table by listing each field's name and data type, as well as any applicable field size, description, and caption property values. And you'll see this in figure 2-27. Now, it's important that whenever you're designing databases and any of the object structures in those databases, that you lay this out on paper and get a clear idea in mind about how you want to organize this within the software. So if you look at figure 2-27, she has created the patient ID as a short text, field size is 5, primary key, last name, first name, both short text, field sizes, and so on, and it goes all the way down through the email field. Now, Cindy's assistant, Kelly, already created an Access database containing a patient table design, but she never put any records into the table because she wasn't sure if the design was complete or if it was correct. So after reviewing the table design, both Kelly and Cindy agreed that it contained some of the fields they want to track, but that some changes are needed. So you can import the table structure in Kelly's database to create the patient table in the Chatham database, and then modify the imported table to produce the final table structure that Cindy wants. So we're going to go again, we are going to look at our external data tab here. But first we want to close the billing table, so we're going to close that. External data, and I'm going to then look at the access button, because if I'm trying to import a database table, guess what program we're using? Access. So I'm going to click on that. Just like we did for the Excel, we have to specify where the file is that we want, that contains the object we want to put in. Okay, and so we're going to do browse, and in this we want to use the Kelly database, and I'm already in. Remember, I went all the way into where the Excel spreadsheet was, and a while ago we only saw Excel files because we had chosen the Excel button here, so we asked to see nothing but Excel documents. Because we chose Access here, we're seeing Access objects. And I want to use Kelly's table from her database, okay? So I have to specify her database. So if we look here, this is where I went out on my C drive, course technology, all the way down to, until I got to the database I'm looking for. You have to know where you have stored your data files for this course and locate it. Okay, specify how and where you want to store the data in the current database. One is import tables, queries, forms, reports, macros, and modules into the current database. The current one is the one I'm working in right now. Or link to the data source by creating a linked table. Okay, we want to import a table, and that is what's selected by default, so we don't need changing things. We're going to say OK. Okay. And so here I see the objects that are in Kelly's database, and the only thing she has created is this one table called the patient table. So I'm going to select it, okay, and I'm going to look at options here, okay, and when I look at options, I see import relationships, and I see these other items listed here, and I see import tables, definition and data, or definition only, which means the structure. Okay, we want to just do the definition only. There is no data in there, so we're just doing the structure, the definition only. And we're going to say, and we're not importing any queries as queries or queries as tables, because there are no queries. You see that? Okay, so I'm going to click OK. all objects were imported successfully. Do you want to save these import steps? No, I don't want to save them. I'm not going to do them again, so I'm close. And look what pops up over here. Here's the patient table. And there we see that. Okay. And so we're good there. Should look like figure 2-29. Now, if I want to add fields to a table using the data type gallery, I can do that. The data type gallery is available in the add and delete group fields on the fields tab. So if we look here, add and delete, okay. So here we want to look at the data type gallery. And if we look at that, we're going to go over here, click on the fields tab, which we did, click the first row in the email. Where's my email? Right here. Okay. Field to make it the active field. And then in the add and delete, click more fields button. And there we want to choose, let me see if I can find it. And I'm looking at the quick start section right here is what I want. And in the quick start section, I want to click on address. Okay. And so it put that in there, and Access adds 5 fields to the table. Now, I'm going to, well, I can't really do undo there, but notice what it added. Address, city, state, zip code, and country region. Then we see email there where we started out. Okay? So that's a quick start section there. Now we want to modify the imported table, delete a field from a table structure. Then we want to delete the country region field from the table structure, so we click in the first row in the country region field if necessary. They say that because guess what? We're already here as a result of adding that address, which added these 5 fields. So it made current region my active field anyway. But if it's not for you, then just click on that first row under that field name. Okay? And up here we want to do a delete in the add delete section, and it just deletes that field out. Okay? Now if I want to, now here we're in data sheet view, but if I go to design view, if I want to delete a field from design view, then all I have to do is select that field. Okay, so we click the title field name box to make it the current field. Okay, so I want to do that right here. Okay, and then from that I'm going to go to the design tab, which I'm right here, and delete the row. Notice it moved that whole field, all the other fields up. Okay, now we also want to delete the facts field, the county field, and the notes field. Can I do all those at one time? Well, first I want to do facts, so I'm going to click here. I've selected that. I also want county, so I'm going to hold down my button here, I'm sorry, on the row selector. I'm going to click there and I'm going to drag down. Okay, and then guess what I do? What can I do? Go back up here and choose delete rows, and it takes those out. So I can do it from data sheet view or within the design view where the structure is identified. And then if I want to rename fields in design view, for instance, I go to state province right here, and I want to backspace the key right here to take out the word province and just leave state.